Okay, so we'll start our lecture and a very good morning to everyone. There are many new students as well. Shubham, Harsh, Sachin, Roman, Nitesh, Anjali, Vishal, Omkar, Akshay, Deepika, Nayan. Okay, there are no new students in this group. Okay, give me 2 more minutes. Okay, so I guess still they did not join. We'll start the lectures. Let them join in between, then we will continue. Okay. So yesterday we have seen just an introduction, like what the entire semester belongs to and what we need to do to improve ourselves, right? And as I stated, theory is a thing which can be done with any layman. It can clear. Normally, our aim should be we should at least get first class, which you have maintained in your diploma as well. So you need to maintain at least first class because that is the minimum criteria to, uh, or you can say that is your platform to get the job. And then apart from that first class, that is your skills which you are going to develop to get promotions and all, right? So this is what is suggested. So normally what happens is when we are sharing some notes like reference books and all, you all are not going to refer it. So what I'm going to do is, even if you are using some textbooks like a local books, normally everyone has a habit to use local books. So I will give you the sections which to refer for what topics. Like in your laboratories, if we are going to have some questions to be written, uh, I'm going to state you कि you can refer to this page or this topic for this particular question. So everyone will have an unique answer and you will understand how much to write and where to write. Or else what happens, everyone will just Google out. See, Google maybe karna is not that easy. You need to search properly what is the relevant answer to your questions. बहुत सारे इन्फॉर्मेशन हम लोग को मिलते हैं गूगल में, अगर तुमने एक चीज लिखा ओपैम करके, if you just write the basic block diagram of OPAM, there are different things, different explanations, different diagrams given, different notes or different slides if you refer. So which one to refer, what to refer is again a new task, right? So that is the reason why when I'm sharing some reference book and if you are referring some textbooks, I will give you the sections, page numbers from where to refer. Okay. So normally my slides I have referred somewhere from your local books so that it was easy for me to do because LIC is a subject which I am teaching for the first time. Previously, I used to teach directly higher semesters. So now I got chance to teach to the second year students using this LIC subject. I was linked to EDCs, but I never taught this IC subjects. So this is the first time I'm getting opportunity to teach IC subject. So I will see to it that I fulfill your requirements. And if you feel if your concepts are not clear, just ping me anytime on your WhatsApp, or you can just ask me during your lectures. डोंट फील अशेम्ड कि मैं कैसे पूछूँ, क्या पूछूँ, किसको क्या लगेगा. अब if you feel कि you're disturbing the class, you can just inform me so that we can have a separate meeting, so that in that we can have a discussion कि what concepts you were not clear with, and then we can clear out. Okay, so we can plan out accordingly. So the general discussions was done yesterday. So someone must have missed it out. So there are some few students who joined today in this class. So we'll directly start with the syllabus. So let me start with the topics which was discussed yesterday for the syllabus. So this is linear integrated circuit for semester 4, and I am Meena Perla, going to teach this subject for this semester. So this subject, when any of the subject we are going to learn, that has some objectives as well as some outcomes. What do we mean by objective is ज़रूरत क्या है ये चीज़ पढ़ने का, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, what is the need, and from that need what we are going to learn, that is what called as outcomes. So objective of this subject is that we will to understand the what is the concept of that IC. ये जो इंटीग्रेटेड सर्किट्स का आईसी जो बना है, उसका कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है, कहाँ से आया है, उसका वर्किंग कैसा है, प्रिंसिपल्स, फिर वो कहाँ पे यूज हो सकता है, दैट इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड. Then, using that, understanding that concepts, we are going to perform the analysis of the circuit. So we are going to we design some circuit, and then we give some input and we check some output. So that is where we say we are going to analyze it. What should be my output? If I'm changing some particular input, am I able to get that output? So if I am giving 5 volt as an input DC voltage, I want my output to amplify to 20 volts. So am I getting 20, or am I getting nearly 20, like 18, or I'm getting nearly 15? So how much is that amplification that I want to see? So that we can analyze it. Then we design the circuit and system for particular applications using linear integrated circuit. So based on the particular application, if the consumer says we want this is my requirement, this is my scenario, I want my circuit to work in this condition with so and so output. So are we able to design as per the requirements? So that is what is the objective. So after studying this LIC entire syllabus, what is the outcome from the students? That you will be able to outline and classify all types of integrated circuits. So we are in the syllabus we are going to study two types of ICs, that is OPAM 741 IC and timer IC, that is 555 IC, as well as a voltage regulator IC 723. So these three types of ICs we are going to see in your syllabus. So whether you are able to identify, classify, we are going to see. Then you will be able to understand the fundamentals and areas of applications for the integrated circuits. Then develop the ability to design practical circuits that perform the desired operations. Then understand the difference between theoretical and practical results in the integrated circuits. And then identify the appropriate integrated circuit modules for designing the engineering applications. So these are some course outcomes and course objectives which were designed by the syllabus, designed in the syllabus. The one who has designed the syllabus has given this objectives and outcome. So this you all should be aware of. That is the reason why I have put up this course objective and outcomes in front of you. So why, what is the need to study, and what you are going to get the information is clear. I hope it is clear. So these are the textbooks and reference books given in your syllabus copy. So Ramakant Gaikwad is the book OPAM and the Integrated Circuit by Pearson Hall publisher. This book is very good for the concept if you want to clear it. So concept wise, it is very clear. Then we have Roy Chaudhary. This soft copy I have, so I have given it in the Google Classroom. So you can refer this book for linear integrated circuit. Then there are different books, reference books. So if you have, you can just refer. And there is one more book which I have given in your Google Classroom as well. So these two books which I had, the soft copy I have shared with you. If I get few more, then I will surely share it in the Google Classroom. Okay. So if someone has not joined the Google Classroom, so please join the Google Classroom. I will share the Google Classroom code once again at the end of the session. Just do remind me at the end. So starting with introduction to operational amplifier. This is your first module. I hope I'm audible to everyone, right? If I'm not audible in between or my slides, if it is not visible, someone just unmute yourself and just let me know, okay? Because when I'm in the flow, I will not be able to see everything, right?
Yes, Miss. Miss, you are audible.
Yes, okay. Thank you, dear, for your response. Okay, so we'll just start. So this is what the first model syllabus is. We have, we are going to study operational amplifier with its block diagram, with its ideal and practical characteristics. After studying this operational amplifier block diagram and its characteristics, we are going to see the different configurations. Like if you have done with the BJT and FETs, there also you have seen different configurations. So here also we have configurations for op-amp. So here they have classified as open loop and closed loop configurations. Then inverting and non-inverting configurations, as well as the buffer amplifier. So this is the second part of your first module, and the third part is related to the applications. So where is this op-amp? Op-amp can be used as what? So if we want to have summing amplifier, difference amplifiers, and instrumentation amplifiers, we can use this type of op-amp. So there are many more applications. This is what is required. Basic requirements is देखो बहुत सारे applications है. It can be act as differential amplifier, but हम लोग को वो सब नहीं पढ़ना है. The syllabus is stating at least you should know summing amplifier, difference amplifier, and instrumentation amplifier. तो बाकी additional, if you want to study, you have a bright, what the broader way to study. But these three topics without fail you need to study because your syllabus is going to ask related to this topic. तो जो सिलेबस में पॉइंट दिया है उसको छोड़ के तुम लोग एडिशनल कर सकते हो बट इसको ऑप्शन में नहीं रख सकते हो दिस कीप दिस सेंटेंस माइंड इन योर माइंड the topics which is given in your syllabus that need to be done compulsorily but additional if you want to go you can do additional menu. So starting with the introduction of op-amp. So we can say op-amp is technically a high gain voltage amplifier with differential inputs. So it is in, you can say voltage amplifier only, but it is going to give you high gain voltage amplifier with differential inputs. When it is stating differential inputs, that means it is going to have two inputs, right? So then only we can have difference in the input. If we get only one input, we cannot get the differential inputs. Then it also says using appropriate negative feedback, a single op-amp can add or subtract two voltage signals. It can also multiply by a constant or integrate the voltage over time. So these are the applications, right, which we can do. But this can be done, that means we can subtract, we can multiply or integrate only with appropriate negative feedback. So from negative feedback means some signal from the output is given feedback to the input. That is what called as a negative feedback. Then stringing together many op-amp like one completed formulas. So this is what we are going to study in this first one. The integrated op-amp offers all the advantages of monolithic integrated circuit. What are the advantages of the ICs is such as small in size, it is high reliability, reduced cost and less power consumption. So what is the brief history about this op-amp? How this came into small size? Do you think जब op-amp आया रहेगा वो डायरेक्टली स्मॉल साइज में आया रहेगा विद हाई रिलायबिलिटी विद रिड्यूस कॉस्ट? नो, हमारे मोबाइल फोन्स भी अभी अभी जैसे इतने स्लिम है, छोटे से है, हैंडी है, लो कॉस्ट में है. पहले वाले मोबाइल थे क्या ऐसे नहीं थे. So Even if you consider any of the components, electronic components, the resistor also if you consider, हम लोग जो पढ़ते हैं ना color code वाले 3 rings वाले color code resistors, our resistor size is now which we used to use in our lab, that size and the same resistor which is connected in your mobile phones, if you see, it is very very small tiny resistors. So this is how the scenario has been changed, right? So वो चीज़ कैसे हुआ, तो पहले कैसा था OPAM? So we'll just have a brief history. So first let us understand what is OPAM. OPAM, an operational amplifier which is known as OPAM, is a device that is used to amplify a signal using an external power source. So it says if you keep just OPAM IC and you are applying some input and you check the output, you will not get any response. You will not get any output. Why? Because it is dependent on the source. So if you apply some external power supply, like it is working on the dual power supply, your OPAM IC works on dual power supply. So unless and until you apply some source, external source, it will not generate the output. So this OPAM, how is it is, what all it composed of? So we can say OPAMs are generally composed of 3 things. One is transistor, resistor and capacitor. So if you see the basic diagrams, you will find this IC which we are going to use in our lab is internally formed of these 3 components: transistor, resistor and capacitor. So what is this history saying? The operational amplifier or the op-amp is a key component of an electronic analog computer. Or without an op-amp, it is impossible to work, right? So its invention in the early 1940s allowed unwieldy mechanical contraptions to be replaced by silent and speedier electronics. So in 1946, the first patent for vacuum tube op-amp came into picture. So that vacuum tube op-amp internally circuit was designed like this. So there were some amplifiers, resistors, capacitors. So this was the circuit, internal circuit, which was a bit complicated one as well and bulky. So how it looked like is like this. So many analog computers relied on vacuum tube op-amps available commercially from George A. Philbrick's company in 1952. So in 1952, the first commercial op-amp was available and this was the structure. So this is how a vacuum tube op-amp looked like. So which was bulky, जैसे हम लोग का ट्यूब लाइट्स हम लोग देखते हैं ना, we get a bulb from outside. So उतने साइज का वो एक vacuum tube op-amp था. Then in 1963, Bob Widler at Fairchild Semiconductor made an op-amp on a single integrated circuit. तो फर्स्ट डिस्क्रीट आईसी बना था 1961 में which looked like this. Again it had the same transistors, resistors and capacitors internally, but it was placed on one circuit itself. Then in 1965, Widlers used a microampere 709, which became a huge commercial success. And he later became the analog wizard in residence at National Semiconductor, widely known not only for his creative and reliable design, but also for his colorful personality. So how was this? So this is what a monolithic op-amps. Monolithic resistors भी है, transistors भी हमने देखा है ना. Like this we used to have 4-pin transistors. Normally हम लोगों ने black transistors BC547 देखा था, and then the transistors were in this monolithic fashion as well. So this is op-amp first commercially successful monolithic op-amp which was designed in 1965, which was successful. Then this history continued, which came and leading to the advent of modern IC, which is still used even today. So this is what from 1967, the Fairchild Microampere 741. This is the IC 741. See the flat surface or the top surface of your IC. Your IC number will always be written here. Okay. So this IC is still you in use. So nowadays, if you find this chip rates are very, very, very less. So it is inexpensive. Cost is very low. बोलते हैं ना, if you can get it for 1 rupee as well, the cost is so low. So what is there in this IC? So the electrical schematics of this IC is shown here. So this IC is of 8 pin IC. So in this 8 pin, are we using all the 8 pins? No. So what pins and how it is connected? So you will find out here from the notch point, we count from here, right? This is the notch and there is a dot out here. So this is what my pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this side 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is how the pin number 1 says offset null. Pin number 2 is the inverting point. Pin number 3 is non-inverting point. Pin number 4 is negative supply. Again, pin number 5 is offset null. 6 is output. 7 is again positive power supply. And 8 is not connected. Okay, so these are the pin diagram you can say for this IC 741. Hope this is clear, everyone. So here there is a symbol which is shown for the op-amp. Op-amp is always shown in the triangular form, or you can say an arrow form, forward arrow direction, where it says it has two inputs and one output. So the two inputs are inverting and non-inverting inputs. So inverting terminal is given to pin number 2 and non-inverting terminal is given to pin number 3. Output is taken at pin number 6. 7 is in positive supply and 4 is negative supply. So we are totally using 5 pins from this 8 pin. Okay. So there are many diploma students out here. Can you state me what do you mean by offset null? Can anyone state me what do you mean by offset null? No one want to speak? Or else, okay, my next question is in on this IC, I'm able to see it is written as LM. It is written as LM out here. LM741CN. What do you mean by this LMCN? Okay, that is your homework part. You all will get the information on this and let me know in the next lecture. Hope I'm audible that you all are not answering anything. So should I continue?
Linear monolithic, miss.
Yes, dear.
Linear monolithic.
Yes,
LM.
linear monolithic. Yes. So, and what about the offset null? What do you mean by offset null?
मिस वो नहीं पता.
Okay, okay. So get that answer. So you have time.
बिल्कुल नहीं.
So you all can try out. सर्च करो देखो क्या है सी सर्च इंजन अभी हमारे हाथों पे है मोबाइल everyone is having data pack you can search out you can get the proper information and then you can relate your answers ki why you have offset line in the IC why there is no connection to that pin number 8 so see हम लोग को ना जितना रिक्वायरमेंट है उतना ही पढ़ना ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए you should have that carving to learn कि why this are not used जैसे मेरा टॉपिक था रिलेटेड टू नेटवर्किंग सो व्हेन आई वाज सपोज टू यूज दैट केबल देयर वर 8 वायर्स इनसाइड when I used to open the outer cover of the cable. But internally, only 4 wires are used. Why 4 other wires are not used? I was wondering. Okay, then why there was a need to insert 4 more wires in the cable? Why they are wasting that 4 wires? So that was the craze. And then I got the answer कि हाँ बाबा 4 required क्यों था? वो पता चल गया. तो देन आई एम सेटिस्फाइड कि हाँ हो गई चलो मैं यूज किया तो चलेगा इसका रीजन ये है सो वी शुड नो ऑल दी पिंस 8 पिन है, तो 8 पिन में क्या क्या है, उसमें हम लोग सिर्फ 5 ही यूज कर रहे हैं, सो वो ऑफसेट नल है, ठीक है, बट व्हाट इट इज, एटलीस्ट वी शुड गेट एन आइडिया. Okay, so the next slide. Yes, someone want to say something?
Does offset mean
Nayan, your
can
voice
be
is
further?
breaking here. Can you just type in the chat box? Okay, so Nayan, you may type. I will just continue till then. Does the offset null terminal, a terminal which is not in use? Why then? Why it is not in use? My question is that. Offset null not
It doesn't
connection.
provide a current supply.
It doesn't provide current supply. Yes, that is also an answer. Okay. Who answered this right now? Related to current supply, who answered this? Yes, dear. Someone answered to current supply issue. May I know who answered?
Ma'am, I answered.
Okay. Okay. Just I wanted to get familiar with everyone, so I was asking. So good on guy. Okay. So our next slide is based on the symbol and terminals. So this is what the symbol of op-amp. As I stated, it is a forward arrow shape which says it has two inputs, one output, and two supply points. So we say pin number 2 is an inverting input terminal, pin number 3 is a non-inverting input terminal, pin number 6 is for output terminal. So what happens out here is when we are giving some supply and an input. So it says the input terminal marked with negative sign is called as an inverting terminal. So when I'm going to apply some input to this negative terminal of an op-amp, what will happen is, if we connect the input signal to this terminal, then the amplified output signal is 180 degree out of phase with respect to the input. राइट ना, हमने एक नेगेटिव टर्मिनल पे अगर इनपुट दिया तो मेरा आउटपुट क्या बोलेगा, सिंस दिस इज नेगेटिव सो माय आउटपुट विल एम्पलीफाई, but it will amplify 180 degree out of phase. In the same way, when I'm applying some input to the non-inverting terminal, then it says my amplifier will amplify the signal without any phase change. So it will amplify as it is. So this is what is written. The input terminal marked with positive sign is called as non-inverting terminal, and if the input is applied to this pin, then the amplified output is in phase with the input. And the offset null is used to nullify the offset voltage. And pin number 8 is dummy pin. So if there is any changes in the voltage, so offset null is used to nullify the offset voltage, and pin 8 is just a dummy pin. So it is not in use, so that's why it is no connection we normally write. So coming to the main point, that is basic block diagram of op-amp. Okay, just a minute. So basic block diagram of op-amp. So we say an op-amp can be conventionally divided into four main blocks. Before that, we say on this block diagram you may have and question like explain the block diagram of operational amplifier with the help of diagram indicating the various building blocks. So what all we include in this block diagram, that are the building blocks. So you may have a question for 10 marks or 5 marks to explain the block diagram of operational amplifier from this model. So as we can see, there are four parts. So op-amp is basically a differential amplifier having very high gain, directly coupled amplifier with high input impedance and low output impedance. So the figure down below shows an IC op-amp. The op-amp is basically of four stages. The first one is an input stage or input differential amplifier. Second one is the gain stage. Third is the level transmitter or called as level shifter. And fourth is an output stage. Okay, so this
Miss,
is what it is. Yes, yeah.
Miss, Miss, your now voice is low.
Okay. Okay, clear now? Hello? Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the block diagram of op-amp where it says it is going to have four blocks with two inputs and one output. So this all these four block functions are done in the single IC. The triangle which we have seen out here, ये एक single triangle में ये four blocks के functions हो रहे हैं. So what functions are done by this input stage, gain stage, level shifter and output stage? So it says at input stage, the input stage requires two input terminals with high input impedance and low output impedance. And these requirements are achieved by using dual input balanced output differential amplifier. So the input stage is acting as dual input balanced output differential amplifier. And the function of differential amplifier is to amplify the difference between the two input signals, right? So since we have two input signals, so it is going to amplify the difference between these two input signals. So V1 minus V2 will be the difference between the two input signals that is going to be amplified by this input stage. So this stage provides a major part of the voltage gain. So since we are saying it is in voltage amplifier op amp, so the major part is done by this input stage. So what about the intermediate stage, or you can say the gain stage? So the output of the input stage is directly given to the intermediate stage or the gain stage, and this is another differential amplifier with dual input balanced output, single ended output. So again, the gain stage, or you can say CE amplifier, is again an differential amplifier which is going to amplify your signal. The input stage alone cannot provide such a high gain. That is the reason why we have also added, after the input stage, we have added a gain stage or an intermediate stage where where we get good voltage gain or we get high gain. And the main function of this gain stage or the intermediate stage is to provide an additional voltage gain required. And practically, the intermediate stage is a chain of cascaded amplifier called as multi-stage amplifier. So you can find at this gain stage, we can use CE amplifier with CEC multi-stage amplifier. The third block is level shifting stage. So what we are going to do with this level shifting stage? So level shifter means the name itself says it is shifting something, right? So since the input stage amplifier and the intermediate stage amplifiers are directly coupled, the DC voltage at the output of the intermediate stage, which tend to rise above the ground, which is not desirable. So normally डायरेक्ट कपल्ड हम लोग जो यूज़ कर रहे हैं एट द इंटरमीडिएट स्टेज, नॉर्मली सी एम्पलीफायर में हम लोगों ने कपलिंग डिफरेंट टाइप्स के देखे हैं, राइट? सो डायरेक्ट कपल्ड एम्पलीफायर इफ यू यूज, तो डीसी वोल्टेज एट द आउटपुट जो होता है ना, दैट टेंड्स टू राइज बिलो ग्राउंड लेवल, so which is not required. So to move that level to the positive half, we to bring down the DC voltage to zero. So जो DC voltage below zero जो जा रहा था उसको zero पे लेके आने के लिए we need to use this level shifter. So that the level shifter is employed of here. So this is usually an emitter follower which allows act as a buffer with very large input resistance and low output resistance. So at level shifter normally we use emitter follower. Then the last stage is output stage. You can see here the last stage is an output stage. The output stage consists of a complementary push-pull amplifier which helps to increase the output voltage swing and current supplying capacity of the op-amp. Okay, so this is an push-pull amplifier. You all have done this part in your previous semester EDC, right? हम लोग ने push-pull amplifiers भी देखा रहेगा. How the coupling was done between these two CEC amplifier, which for class A amplifier, class B amplifier, class AB amplifier, ये सब देखा था ना, तो जिसमें complementary push pull amplifier भी था. So here in this op-amp, the output stage consists of this complementary push pull amplifier, which helps to increase the output voltage swing and current supplying capacity of the op-amp. कुछ याद आ रहा है तुम लोग को push pull amplifier? पुश पुल एम्पलीफायर कुछ याद आ रहा है? One transistor up, one transistor down. We used to give input to one terminal of the transistor, take output from the second transistor, and then we used to have our output. क्लास ए बी का आउटपुट में तुम लोग का पॉजिटिव हाफ और नेगेटिव हाफ, पॉजिटिव हाफ इनपुट वोल्टेज जब मिलता था और नेगेटिव हाफ उसके बीच में एक क्रॉसओवर डिस्टॉर्शंस भी क्रिएट होता था, राइट? So where we used to have push pull amplifier. ठीक है? So this is what we have stated out. So we have seen this input stage, intermediate stage, and due to direct coupling, what happened that I have stated out here, and the output stage increases the current supplying capacity of op-amp and also provide the low output resistance. The same thing I have stated you before. So now let us see some modes. So these are simple modes which we are going to see. Configurations we are going to see later. So modes, you can say op-amp input modes. Input modes means input में हम लोग कौन से types के modes दे सकते हैं. Since we have two inputs, we can say if the input signal is applied to only one of the inputs and the other input terminal is connected to ground, then it is said to be operating in single-ended mode. तो दो inputs है मेरे diagrams में. First, in this first image, I am applying input voltage to the first terminal, that is inverting terminal. And second terminal is ground. I'm giving supply and checking the output. Since it is inverting terminal, my output will be 180-degree out of phase. When we are applying input to the non-inverting terminal and inverting terminal is ground, my output will be in phase to the input, right? So this is how single-ended mode says. One input terminal is applied to one terminal and the other terminal is ground. This is the input mode. The second input mode says differential mode or double-ended. So what happens here is I am going to apply two input signals to both the input terminal and both will be out of phase. V1 input signal and Vin input signal, V2 input signal are out of phase to each other. So when we are going to apply this two signal to the inverting and non-inverting terminal of op-amp, you will find your amplifier will amplify the difference between these input signals. Okay, so this is how V1 minus V2 का signal input signal को amplify करेगा वो signal V out. Then we have the last input mode called as common mode. यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने डिफरेंस करके देखा, यहाँ पे सिंगल एंडेड करके देखा। अभी दोनों को कंबाइन करेंगे तो क्या होगा? व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू अप्लाई in a common mode operation, the same input signal is applied to both the input terminal. That means that is in phase signal. Same signal is applied to both the terminal. Initially, a zero voltage should be produced by an op amp. So we say when both the inputs are same, then output voltage should give you the zero voltage as its output, ideally. Okay. So this is all about your input modes and the block diagram. Any doubt in this?
No, miss.
Offset null, dear Nayan has written something. Offset null, normally offset voltage it is taking place. Normally what happens is जो voltage हम लोग के zero पे जाते हैं ना, below the negative, below zero. So उस voltage को maintain करने के लिए वो offset null terminals पे हम लोग रखते हैं. Offset voltage को cancel करता है. So normally there is no purpose of offset null, but it is maintained out there. इसका exact reason you just search it out. We will discuss more on this offset terminal in next lecture. Okay. Okay, so I guess everyone is clear with this block diagram and the input modes. So today I'm going to have LIC orientation program for this semester. Since this is new syllabus, uh, since the syllabus has been revised, so every new syllabus we have an orientation program arranged for all the subjects. So today I will have LIC orientation program where we'll get some information from which book we need to refer more, what all points to be covered in what topics. So based on that, we will do the further points. Okay. So let me see what do I have after this is. Okay, we'll just complete with the characteristics also in this 10 minutes. So we have done with the basic block diagram now. As per the syllabus, we need to proceed with the characteristics of operational amplifier. So the op-amp characteristics are important in practice because we can use them to compare the performance of various op-amp ICs and select the best suitable from them for the required applications. Okay, so characteristics means the parameters are very important. Like some parameters which is required कि bandwidth मेरा इतना होना चाहिए. I say my common mode rejection ratio should be this much, sleeve rate should be this much. So these are some parameters which input resistance मेरा इतना होना चाहिए, output resistance इतना होना चाहिए. Based on that, based on its performance, we can select the particular IC. Then op-amp characteristics are classified into two categories, which are namely AC characteristics and DC characteristics. So characteristics of operational amplifiers is first point is open loop voltage gain. So open loop voltage gain, it is the differential gain of an op amp in the open loop mode of operation. So it is differential gain of an op amp in the open loop mode of operation. What do we mean by open loop? That means there is no negative feedback to your op amp. Second point says input resistance. So it is defined as the equivalent resistance which can be measured at either at inverting or non-inverting terminal with the other terminals connected to the ground. So equivalent resistance is present which is measured at either any of the input terminal so that other terminal is connected to ground. The third characteristic is output resistance. It is the resistance measured by looking into the output terminal of the op amp with the input source short circuited. So output resistance is measured at the output side of the op amp, that means at the pin 6. But when can we get the output resistance? The condition is your input source should be short circuited. So we need to short the input circuited. The fourth one is bandwidth. It is the range over which all the signal frequencies are amplified almost equally. So we have particular range over which the signal frequencies are amplified almost equally. So there are some normally if any amplifier if you see it will work for particular bandwidth range only. Then common mode rejection ratio, it is defined as the ratio of differential gain to common mode gain. So differential gain, as we have seen, if we have two inputs V1 and V2, the difference between that is called as differential gain. Common mode gain is the average of that input signal. Since both are in phase, so V1 plus V2 by 2, if you calculate, that is common mode gain. So when you take the ratio of differential gain to common mode gain, we calculate that as a parameter called as common mode rejection ratio. Then we have sleeve rate. It is defined as the maximum rate of change of the output voltage per unit time. Okay. So this sleeve rate, common mode rejection ratio, and bandwidth are the major parameters of operational amplifier. Then we have power supply rejection ratio, PSRR. So it is the change in an op-amp's input offset voltage caused by the variation in the supply voltage. So it is change in op-amp's input offset voltage caused by the variation in supply voltage. So यहाँ पे op-amp का input offset voltage जो है ना वो changes हो रहा है because of what? Because of the supply voltage. If there is any fluctuation in the supply voltage, there is some changes which is going to be done in pin number 1 offset voltage. Okay. The input offset voltage, ideally for a zero input voltage, output should be zero. But practically it is not so. This is due to the unavailable unbalances inside the op-amp. So if we are not giving any input signal, but obviously my output should be zero. But because of some imbalance which is taking place inside the op-amp, with the transistors hai, resistors hai, if sometimes what happens initially when you give some power supply, some current may start flowing internally. So because of that current, you may result into some output. So this is what an unbalance which is taking place. So we say even though we have not applied any input to the input terminal, the output is giving some voltage or current. Okay. Then is input bias current. It is the average of currents flowing into the two input terminals of the op amp. Okay, average of current flowing into the two terminals of op amp. Then input offset current is, it is the algebraic difference between the currents flowing into the inverting and non-inverting terminal of the op amp. Bias current and offset current both are different. Bias is averaging and offset is the difference between the current flowing. So this is what the comparison of ideal and practical op amp characteristics. So we have this characteristics parameter. Based on this, these are the practical values which we normally get, and this is the ideal value which has been stated. So voltage gain, we say it is very high gain, so it results in ideal value of infinite, but practically we will reach only to 2 into 10 raised to 5. Input resistance, it is stated high input resistance to the op amp. So high means how much? It is infinite. So we can say 2 mega ohm. Output is should be ideally 0, but it is we are having minimum 75 ohm. Bandwidth should be infinite, but we reach only till 1 megahertz. CMRR should be infinite, but practically it reaches to 90 dB. Sleeve rate, it should be again infinite, but it is reached to 0.5 volt per microsecond. PSRR, it should be ideally 0, but it is in microvolt. Input offset voltage should be 0, but it is showing 2 millivolt. Input bias current should be 0, but it is still showing 50 nanoampere. And offset current, it is showing 6 nanoampere practically. So this is what the difference between ideal and practical values for op amp. Okay. So I guess I should stop here for today. And in the next lecture, we will more go into detail of this module with configurations. So roll number 1, Saurabh.